Welcome back. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and your energy. And if you are new here, welcome. I also want to say a special thank you to all my subscribers. Gemini, what I'm getting is that it is all worth it. Now, what am I talking about? You see, your belief, your faith, what your heart tells you, it's a connection where, there's an individual who was criticized, who was judged by others. They spoke so bad about them for what they did, for their actions, for their sins. The thing is that there's an understanding between the two individuals. Why? Because it's the same way. You see, one individual was being judged for their sins, and the other individual was being judged for their holiness, for their righteousness. You see, one individual being judged and criticized for doing wrong, and the other for doing right. The thing is that the individual that was doing wrong, the individual that was sinning, went up to the individual that was doing right, that was holy, that was living in righteousness. There was not only a connection, there was forgiveness. Where the whole connection says, we are forgiven and God is with us. God loves us. Sin no more. You are now safe. Where it happens, excuse me, society wanted to get rid of that individual that was sinning. They wanted to get rid of that individual that was doing wrong. And the holy individual, the individual that was doing right, the individual that was living in righteousness, gave up his own life for them. And this is why I said what I said in the beginning. It was all worth it. Where the individual that was sinning, the individual that was doing wrong, they witnessed all of that. They saw that the holy individual gave up their own life for them. So they stayed in just such energy of reflection, of understanding. They can barely believe it. But it was a connection that was established forever. A connection that united them with eternity, with God. And that, it's a celebration. That, it's victory. That is glory. Why? Because there was no more sin. An individual was saved. Someone who was lost was found. Someone who was dead in sin was now alive. That was the whole point. That was the mission. Yes. It's amazing because individuals with authority, those are the ones who wanted to get rid of that individual that was sinning. They were judging them hard. Oh, you are not welcome here. Oh, you don't belong in this community. Oh, you should be stoned. You should be killed for doing such things, for sinning. And they thought that they had the authority to do that, to judge them like that, to criticize them, to get rid of them. And that's when the holy individual stepped in, expressed the truth. The holy individual actually forgive their sins. The individual living in righteousness forgave them all of their sins. And that's when the individuals with authority, they didn't like that. They said, how can you do that? You can't do that. You can't forgive their sins. Only God can do that. The holy individual didn't listen to them. That individual knew what they were doing. That individual knew that they could forgive. So they did. But you see, that was another thing they didn't like about it. They didn't like about the holy individual. This is why they ended up wanting to get rid of that holy individual. This is why I said that the holy individual gave up their own life for the sinner. So that was like an eye-opening for the sinner, for the individual that was doing wrong. It's like, how can say that's so much love. That is, wow. Yeah, in shock. They stayed in shock. A miracle. Because the holy individual, the individual living in righteousness, they didn't even have any authority to say such things, to do such things, yet they did it. And they did it with all the love that you can think of. So that was another that was another grain to the sand. That was another miracle for the books. That was another story. There was another witness. And what was that? What happened? There was more truth to the world, to the community. And what was that truth? That individual was now able to say more about the holy individual. What happened? What they said. Which makes them the truth. And it's beautiful because with that truth, that was their divine beginning for the sinner, for the individual that used to do wrong. That was their rebirth. Yes. And that connection that connected them to eternity, even though they already knew that it was an eternal connection, they truly didn't find out until the day they died, until the day they left their physical body. But that was the whole thing. Do not be afraid. That God is with you. That I am with you. Thank you for your time, your energy. I hope this helped a lot, and I will see you next time. Stay blessed. Bye.